Let's start our chapter. Today's our topic for discussion is the movement in the plants. As I've told you that movement in the plant is because again of the phytohormones which are released by the plant. We have discussed about there are two types of movement. One is tropic movement and one is nastic movements. As you know, that tropic movements are those which are either towards the stimuli or away from the stimuli, and there are the nastic movements. Nastic movements are the one which are neither towards the stimuli nor away from the stimuli. In the tropic movement, we have already discussed about the phototropism, geotropism, and hydrotropism. Today, we are going to discuss about the chemiotropism. That is the response of plant towards the chemical and fertilization of the flower. Fertilization in the flower. I have told you the sexual reproduction.
Your voice is lagging.
Your voice is breaking.
Your voice is lagging.
Your voice.
Okay. Now, as we have already discussed about the movement in plant, as I've told you that movement in plants is of two types. One is tropic movement and one is nastic movement. Tropic movement are those movements which are shown by the plant towards the stimuli, either in towards the stimuli or away from the stimuli, right? But again, these movements are controlled by the hormone which is released by the plant. Nastic movements, we have discussed, these are neither toward the stimuli nor they are away from the stimuli. Okay, so tropic movements में we have already discussed. By discussing the various activity, we have already understood about phototropism, geotropism, and chemiotropism. Sorry, we have discussed about the hydrotropism. Now today we are going to discuss about the chemiotropism, and we are going to discuss about the thigmotropism. Now here, what is chemiotropism? It is a response of plant towards the chemical. And the best example to explain the chemiotropism is the growth of pollen tube. Growth of pollen tube. As we know that the site of sexual reproduction in plant is flower. And there in the flower, we can see that what happened during the process of fertilization and how the plant is able to produce the response towards the stimuli. So for that, let me explain it with the help of this board. Now, this is the part of the plant which is present in the flower, and this is the male part of the flower. Okay, the upper part we call as stigma. The neck leg structure we call as style, and the swollen base we call as ovary. This is the female part of the plant which is present in the flower. Together, it is known as carpel. Alright, so this is the part of the plant which show the response towards the chemical, where the pollen tube will only be where the pollen tube will grow only once the stigma receives the chemical. If the chemical is not received by the stigma, the pollen tube is not going to grow. Now let me discuss where from the chemical comes. This is the male part of the flower, which is consisting of the two parts. The thread-like structure is known as filament, and on the thread there is this head-like structure which we call as factory of pollen grain. This is what we call as anther. This is what we call as anther. Okay. Now here what we are going to discuss is about the chemiotropism. That how the plant show response towards the chemical in terms of growth. Okay. Now as you know that anther and filament, this is known as stamen and it is the male part of the flower. Now what happened? This in some of the plants, these are present both in the same plant. That flower we call as bisexual flower, and where they are present separately. That is, the male part is present with some other plant, and the female part is present in the another plant. They are present separately in the two different flowers. This male flower is present and the female part is present in the female flower. Okay. So those flowers we call as unisexual flowers. But where both the male part as well as the female part are present in the same plant, that we call as bisexual flower, and where they are present separately in separate flowers, they are called as unisexual flower. Okay. Now, what happens and how the plant is able to show the chemiotropism? This, as told you, that the union between the male component and the female component, the fusion between the male gamete and the female gamete, give rise to the fertilization. Right? But this male gamete, the male gamete in the flower are produced by the male part, which is called as stamen, and where they are produced in the head-like structure. That is what we call as anther. So anther produces the pollen grain, that is the male sex cell or the male gametes. These pollen grains transfer to the female part, and that is where they attach themselves, that is called as stigma. This process, that is the transfer of pollen grain from anther to stigma, it is known as pollination. And this is the first step in the plant towards the fertilization. But here we are not discussing about the fertilization. Here what is our objective is to understand how the plant show chemiotropism. The pollen grain gets transferred from anther to stigma. They can get transferred through wind. They can get transferred through water. They can be transferred through insects. So they get transferred from anther to stigma. Stigma, there is the sticky substance present on it. Once the pollen grain sticks on the stigma, due to the stickiness of the stigma, the pollen grain gets stick to the stigma, and once the pollen grain lands on stigma, over the period of the time, what happened? A tube-like structure is formed. This tube-like structure we call as pollen tube. What we call it as? We call it as pollen tube. So the formation of pollen tube is here response. Formation of pollen tube in this is response, and the landing of pollen grain and releasing of the chemical by the pollen grain, and release of the chemical by the pollen grain, that is stimuli. The chemical which is being released by the pollen grain is stimuli. So here what happens? Because of the presence of stimuli, the pollen grain, a pollen tube is formed. So this is how the plant responds towards the Chemiotropism. If the part of the plant move towards the chemical stimuli, it's called positive chemiotropism. On the other hand, if the part of the plant moves away from the chemical stimuli, it is called as negative chemiotropism. Right? So, during the process of fertilization, the growth of the pollen tube towards the ovule in the ovary is an example of what? Is an example of the chemiotropism. If the pollen tube will not land on the stigma, if the pollen tube will not land on the stigma, then no formation of pollen tube will take place. So it is because once the pollen grain land on the stigma, only then the pollen tube is formed. So this is what we call as growth of the pollen tube towards the ovule. Once it receives the pollen grain, that is what we call as chemiotropism. Right. That is what we call as chemiotropism.
मैम वॉइस ब्रेक हो रही है
वॉइस ब्रेक हो रही है
Yes, ma'am. और मैम बोर्ड भी नजर नहीं आ रहा।
हमारा भी नेट
Okay, now let us see the examples. You can see here the what is on your screen is the two different diagrams depicting two different tropisms. One is phototropism and one is geotropism. Now you can see this is the formation of pollen tube. Once the pollen reach, this formation of pollen tube is the response of plant towards the chemical, that's ovule. But only pollen tube will grow only once it receives the pollen grain, right? So that the pollen, so that the male sex cell can travel through this pollen tube. So this is the response of plant towards the chemical. Now we are going to discuss about the thigmotropism. We are going to discuss about the another which is called as thigmotropism. It is response of plant towards the touch, where touch is the stimuli, and how it happens we can discuss it with like that. A response of plant towards the touch, which we call as thigmotropism. You must have seen that there are certain plants which are weak one, whose stem is not as strong as of other plants. Then what happens in such case? Like tomato plant, or there is the pea plant. All right. What and how they tend to grow, because their stem are not as such which can support themselves. So in order to make them stand, what we have to do, we have to provide them the support. The support can be in terms of, you can say it can be a rope, it can be a stick where you will where the plant will attach itself to that stick. Now how the pea plant whose stem is weak, now how it climbs to the support which we provide them. They are having a special structure, the coiled-like structure, which are called as tendrils. Okay, they are having the coiled structure, which we call as tendril, and how the tendril function, let me discuss about that. If this is the support which is being provided by you towards the pea plant or the tomato plant or some other plant which is whose stem is very weak, what they will try to do is they will these grow the tendril around this support. The support which has been provided by them to just attach themselves, they attach themselves to the support by the tendril, and thus this wooden stick will help it to climb. How it it develops the tendril which help it to climb so that the plant can be upright, so that plant can stand on its own. Although it has weak stem, it cannot stand on its own. Then what we are doing, we are providing them with the wooden sticks, or we are providing with them the ropes. Then they attach themselves to these ropes or the wooden stick by forming the coiled structures. These coiled structures are called as tendril. Now, how the coiling of the tendril will take place? Now, let me discuss about that. You know, tendril is coiled because there is unequal growth, right? The coiling takes place only because of the unequal growth. Unequal growth, meaning from outside, there is more growth, and from inside there is less growth, right? How it happens? Once the part which is exposed to the tip of the stem, I have told you, they start producing the relief, they start producing the chemical which is known as auxin. If the plant is upright, like this, what happens? The auxin which is generated here will diffuse on equal amount in both the sides, so the plant will be upright. But what happens here in case of this tendril, that more auxin is diffused from its site of synthesis, and from the tip, more auxin is diffused towards the side of the tendril, which is away from the support and away from the contact. And if the side, the inner side, which is in the contact of the support, will receive less auxin, and the support and the part of the plant which is towards the sunlight, which is exposed towards the sunlight, will have more auxin, right? Here, if it is generated on the tips, now the diffusion will take place in such a manner that those parts of the plant where it is in touch of the support, they will receive the less chemical, less auxin, and the one which is outside will receive more. So what will happen? The unequal growth will take place. The growth from inner side will be less, and the growth from outer side will be more. So here there will be the unequal growth, and because of this unequal growth, the coiling of the tendril will take place, and this is the response of plant towards the touch, that is growth, right? So this is what we call as directional movement due to the growth in response to the touch. This is what we call as thigmotropism. Now we are supposed to discuss about the nastic movements. Nastic movements are those movements which are neither towards the stimuli nor they are away from the stimuli. For example, if you will see this, that is which is present on your screen, there is the presence of touch me not plant, or which is known as mimosa plant. What happens in this? Once you touch it, the mimosa plant droop its leaves, and this is what we call as thigmotropism. nasty. Thigmo means again touch. Nasty. Nasty means nastic movement, which is neither towards the stimuli nor away from the stimuli. These are the non-directional movements which are induced by the external stimuli. So this is the response of plant towards the stimuli. Once you touch it, your touch will be the response. Sorry, your touch will be the stimuli, and drooping of the leaves by the mimosa plant will be the response. Now, why it happens? It happens because of the change in the amount of water in the leaves. Depending upon the amount of water in the leaves, it will swell or shrink. And this is what we call as thigmonasty. But here there was the growth. So this is called as thigmotropism. Tropism again means where the response is to be shown in terms of growth. But in thigmonasty or nastic movements, again this is response towards the touch. Thigmotropism, where the growth will take place, but in response to the touch. Here, the growth is not taking place. In thigmonasty, no growth is taking place. So it is neither, this is what we call as thigmonasty, because no growth is taking place, but response is shown by drooping its leaves. There is photonasty as well as thermonasty. That is response of plant towards the light. There is a flower which is known as tulips. Sorry, there are the flowers which are known as morning glory. They will grow only once they receive the sunlight. But once the sunlight is lesser, what happens? They again droop its leaves. Okay, so they bloom only once they receive the sunlight, and once the sunlight over the period of the time during the evening, they droop its